On this edition of Real American Heroes, former U.S. Navy SEAL Ryan Angold with an inspiring story of servicing those who serve. Welcome to this edition of Real American Heroes. I'm Oliver North, and our guest today is a real American hero. His name's Ryan Angold. He grew up in Northern California and quickly realized he wanted to serve in the U.S. military. Went on to receive his Bachelor of Science degrees in mechanical engineering. By the way, I got my degree from the same institution, the United States Naval Academy. When he graduated, he joined the Navy and went through the tedious process of becoming a U.S. Navy SEAL officer. And while he was a SEAL, he was deployed 5 times and served with both SEAL Team 2 and the Naval Special Warfare Development Group. After leaving the military, Ryan continued to serve by joining the ADS team, where he's responsible for creating, developing, and leading initiatives relating to new and existing markets, which all means helping our government make sure that our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines have the equipment that they need. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. It's great to be here.
Ryan, for our viewers, give us a sense for what it was like coming out of the Naval Academy and going off to BUD/S, because they've heard about BUD/S because they watch TV, but what's it really like? It's like hell. Yeah.
Well, I could definitely tell you I was fairly prepared, having gone to the Naval Academy, and I ended up there thinking I liked the idea of having the opportunity to serve. And I went there hoping to play D1 sports. So I made an attempt at football and track there. And while I was there, I realized I wasn't going pro in anything. So I realized I needed to figure out what I was going to do as far as my service assignment. So I looked at Marine Corps, I looked at aviation, looked at SEAL teams, and ultimately felt that the Naval Special Warfare community was the right path for me. So I was selected to go into the SEAL teams out of the Naval Academy, went straight to SEAL training in Coronado, California. And I always love to share with my ADS team that every time we go to San Diego, whether to meet with customers or have one of our big Warrior Expo events, I describe Coronado, California as the coldest place on earth, because I could tell you there's a lot that goes into SEAL training. It's physical, there's lack of sleep, you're doing all the things people see all over the news, but it is the cold and the water environment and the cold that really test their soul, test their strength, and it tests their will to want to persevere through and become a SEAL. And I knew I wanted to be a SEAL more than anything else. That was instilled with me while I was at the Naval Academy, and I felt like that was the best way I could serve my country.
Basic Underwater Demolition School is what BUD/S stands for in the old days. And of course, you're no longer just frogmen. SEALs do all kinds of things. In fact, my guess is, given your class and when you were deployed, you were nowhere near water in any of those.
I did one deployment with the 2-2MU pre 9/11. So it's working with the Marines, and it was mostly exercises, deploying to the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. But beyond all that, yes, sir, it was all land-based. Whether it was Kosovo, I was in Kosovo during 9/11, got to do some good work for my country shortly after 9/11 hit, and beyond that, it was Afghanistan.
And then you got hurt.
Well, when people hear about my injury, they always assume, and even my colleagues, the ADS, assume that it took place while I was operating, while I was executing a mission or training. But unfortunately, it did not happen during training or during operation. I just completed my second deployment to Afghanistan, and I came back and completed a training course out in Arizona. Completed that, came back, and it was a totally recreational, called a maritime boating accident. But it was a crazy injury, hitting the water too fast. It was just an accident, but I dislocated my neck. It was a C5, C6 dislocation, crushed my spinal cord, bad injury. Once it took place, obviously very painful, traumatic injury, very little ability to move anything. I was starting to gain some consciousness and be able to talk, but everything that could have gone right went right after the fact. I spent a good amount of time in the Spinal Cord Injury Center at the Richmond VA, limited function due to the spinal cord injury, but I've very hard charging and working with the doctors and the physical therapists. I'm a huge fan of physical therapy, and I made a recovery no one would have expected. Across my multiple neurosurgeons and physical therapists, I'm the only one they've seen with a complete C5, C6 dislocation that is able to walk without a walker. And honestly, I'm still seeing improvements today, but it was a crazy injury. And most of the docs, say it's a rare injury to see. They say maybe, hitting the water, not sure if that was enough to dislocate a neck like that. Maybe there were some pre-existing things going on. I can't argue that. Anyone who's been through SEAL training knows you put a lot of pressure on your neck carrying that boat and all the things you do in active duty, as you know, sir. But my career ended. I was hard charging. I love serving my country. I love working in the SEAL teams. I love the mission. I love the folks I worked with, but it all came to a screeching halt, and I had to pivot and start a new career. That led to me working in the defense industry where I am now. And I can honestly say that, had I not gotten hurt, I would still be serving. Not able to do that. I have a little chip on my shoulder, and I want to do everything I can with personnel I work with to continue to support the warfighters as best as possible.
Well, ADS does that. I'm not doing a commercial. I'm just saying for the reality of it is what you guys do is unique, and describe within the limits of what we can say on broadcast, because you guys do some pretty sensitive stuff. But describe what ADS does and what you do with ADS.
Well, I work with an amazing sales team. We engage with DoD personnel, so select federal agencies. We engage with personnel operating at the unit level, at the major command level, at the major acquisition office level, and we do multiple things. And it was very surprising when I first came to ADS, because I've been working with ADS with a different company as a manufacturer of hybrid power systems that we were primarily delivering to the Marine Corps, and ADS helped me quite a bit. And I thought I had the defense space figured out, and I was really good at helping solve customer problems, but I came to ADS and it just blew me away at how passionate the team was to engage as much as possible with the warfighters, with the first responders, to find out what equipment they need and to help them get it as quickly as possible. We sum that up with rapid acquisition. We find ways to help the warfighter and the first responder get equipment quicker. And you'd be amazed at how many times, this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but different offices will try to apply an aircraft acquisition process to buying individual equipment, radios, eyewear, headsets, tents, shelters, generators. So we work every day to find ways to get that equipment to those warfighters quicker and ideally cheaper. We have a new effort we call our Innovation Lab. We'll probably change the name a bunch of times, but bottom line is ADS is trying to work with our industry partners to build products that don't exist right now, where customers are saying, we would love it if somebody would build us something that did this. One small example of that is our heated glove project, where we've had a lot of Air Force and SOCOM customers on the Navy side and Army side saying we would like some heated gloves, both tethered and untethered. There's safety issues with wearing big mittens for different missions, and hey-ho operations, your hands get cold, and it's been a problem DoD's been working on for 20 years. So ADS is working on it as well, and we have some good prototypes. So that's another way ADS is trying to do more.
ADS also, because of the work you do with the DoD, is in, I guess, it's one of those pay it forward kind of events. But you guys serve those who serve our nation. Tell us about that initiative that you've got in the company.
We have an initiative we call ADS Mission Give Back. There's two key components. One's a scholarship program, and the other is supporting other corporations, other nonprofits that support the same personnel that we support. It was very impressive for me to first come to ADS and come to one of our large warrior expos and see all the different companies we work with that provide and develop and create and manufacture the best products out there. But I also noticed there was a row of different companies, and these are the nonprofits that ADS would bring to their shows, so they'd get additional exposure, not just to the warfighters so they knew that they were out there, but also exposure to our industry partners who could also support them. The corporate support and supporting nonprofits is something that's been going on with ADS since I started more than 10 years ago. Newer is our scholarship program. So this started 3 years ago, and ADS is committed to giving back to dependents of the U.S. military, law enforcement, first responders who have fallen, to help them carry on with their follow-on education, whether it's college or an advanced technical degree. It really is an honor to be a part of an organization that does this. And I know personally some of those families that are receiving that support from us. So it's a great experience to be able to see ADS giving back in that way.
You did well, brother. Thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Folks, if Ryan's story has given you hope or inspired you to be a better American, giving you information you can use to your benefit, take time now to subscribe or comment and let me know. And until next time, remember, Semper Fidelis is more than a slogan for U.S. Marines. Always faithful is a way of life.